This is Pulse of Africa, the face and voice of Africa. The story of resurgent and burgeoning Africa is here, only on the Pulse of Africa channel. Pulse of Africa, the face and voice of Africa.
Hello viewers, I'm Tinsai Gabriel and welcome to Pulse of Africa News, bringing you the latest updates from across Africa. Moroccan Foreign Minister Nasser Bourita met with his Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov in Moscow to reinforce bilateral relations under the strategic partnership framework established by King Mohammed VI and President Vladimir Putin in 2016. The talks focused on deepening cooperation and exploring new areas of collaboration as both ministers praised the momentum in Morocco-Russian relations and reaffirmed their commitment to elevate the partnership to a higher level. During the meeting, Bourita and Lavrov signed a Memorandum of Understanding to create a joint working committee between their foreign ministries. The body will review progress, identify high-value cooperation opportunities, and propose initiatives to advance bilateral relations. The ministers also agreed to maintain regular political dialogue and jointly monitor existing agreements. Regional and international issues, including developments in North Africa, the Sahel, and the Middle East, were also discussed. Bourita's visit included co-chairing the 8th session of the Morocco-Russian Joint Commission with Russian Deputy Prime Minister Dmitry Patrushev. The chairperson of the African Union Commission, Mohamed Ali Youssef, called for stronger AU-UN partnership and permanent African representation in the United Nations Security Council. The chairperson received members of the United Nations Security Council at the AU headquarters in Addis Ababa. During the meeting, Chairperson Youssef briefed the Council on key African priorities, including peace and security, development and governance. He stressed the importance of strengthening partnerships between the AU and the UNSC, particularly through Africa's representation in the A3. Reiterating Africa's long-standing call for permanent representation in the United Nations Security Council, the chairperson underscored the continent's need for a stronger voice in global decision-making. He further urged the full implementation of Resolution 2719, emphasizing that Africa-led peace support operations are crucial for sustainable stability and lasting peace across the continent. Members of the Security Council commended the AU's leadership and reaffirmed their commitment to deepening cooperation with the Union in advancing shared goals of peace, security, and sustainable development in Africa. Ghana's President John Dramani Mahama has announced that China has approved an additional 200 million RMB grant to support key development projects in Ghana. President Mahama said the grant followed his bilateral talks with Chinese President Xi Jinping, during which Beijing confirmed the new funding alongside an earlier 200 million RMB facility. According to President Mahama, the combined funds will be used to construct the proposed Aflao Market and renovate the National Theatre in Accra. He described the Aflao Market as a vital trading hub linking Ghana and Togo, aligned with his resetting Ghana agenda. He also revealed that Ghana and China are finalizing a zero-tariff policy by the end of October to boost trade between the two nations. The discussion further covered cooperation in promoting responsible small-scale mining and expanding investment opportunities. China also expressed interest in Ghana's 24-hour economy initiative and green transition policy, with plans to collaborate with the government and private sector and advance these programs. He noted that the engagements form part of Ghana's border resetting Ghana agenda, aimed at strengthening partnerships and attracting foreign investment to drive national growth. A total of 33 people have died from Rift Valley fever in Senegal and Mauritania since its outbreak in late September, an official of the African Center for Disease Control and Prevention said Thursday. Data released by Yap Boum II, Deputy Incident Manager at the Africa CDC, showed the disease has claimed the lives of at least 20 people in Senegal, with a case fatality rate of 11.7% in 5 regions of the West African country. Speaking during a virtual press conference from the Democratic Republic of Congo, a key health issue around the continent, Yap said 171 confirmed cases have been recorded. The northern St. Louis region is the most affected, with about 159 of the recorded cases since the first laboratory confirmation of Rift Valley fever in the country on September 20. The data also showed that in Mauritania, Rift Valley fever has killed 13 people, while 36 cases have been recorded. The disease has affected 12 regions of Mauritania, with Branca and Trarza the most hit areas. The viral disease mainly affects animals, but also humans. Africa CDC figures show that in livestock, 22 cases of Rift Valley fever have been recorded, with 452 abortions attributed to the disease, but no deaths. The most common symptoms of Rift Valley fever in people include flu-like fever, muscle and joint pain, and headache.
They shaped history. They inspired generations. They are the notables. Join us as we honor Africa's greatest minds and trailblazers, the notables, celebrating Africa's icons.
Now to business news. The National Bank of Ethiopia has welcomed the recent 50% increase in IMF quotas, describing it as a positive step towards strengthening the global financial safety net and improving access to resources for member countries. Speaking at the Africa Group 3rd Constituency meeting, on the sidelines of the IMF World Bank annual meetings, Governor Eyob Takeleng called for faster and fairer quota reforms that reflect the current global economic realities. While we welcome the quota increase and the swift implementation, the urgency of quota realignment cannot be overstated, he said. For many African economies, including Ethiopia, the IMF remains the most dependable pillar of the global financial safety net, he said, adding continued delays in realignment risk, leaving these economies without the support they need to navigate global challenges. Governor Eyob also commended the growing consensus to safeguard the quota shares of developing nations, but stressed the need to address persistent underrepresentation. In that same spirit, he added, countries that remain significantly underrepresented, such as Ethiopia, should be prioritized in future quota adjustments to promote a fair, balanced, and inclusive international financial system.
El Dorado, a land of wealth, a future of limited possibilities. This is El Dorado. From natural rich to groundbreaking innovations, discover Africa's untapped potential. El Dorado.
South African Reserve Bank Governor Lesige Kganyago has called for greater transparency from global credit rating agencies, urging that developing nations be allowed to challenge their methodologies. Speaking after the G20 finance chiefs meeting in Washington, Kganyago said examining and replicating agencies' methods would help developing countries contest inaccurate ratings and secure fairer assessments. As G20 president, South Africa has prioritized reducing the high cost of capital for developing economies, including addressing the role of rating agencies. A proposed commission to study these issues, however, is yet to be established. The G20 chair summary noted that while the global economy remains resilient, risks such as geopolitical tensions, debt burdens, and climate impacts persist. It also stressed the need for reforms at multilateral development banks to boost lending and strengthen developing countries' representation in global decision-making. Next, let's check the current weather forecast. That's all from Pulse of Africa News. Thank you for joining us, and stay tuned for more stories that matter to Africa and beyond.